Mass grave containing 450 newly discovered skeletons. Shocks archaeologists. The ancient world has long fascinated human curiosity, as behind the old ruins lie deep secrets and untold stories. Each tomb, each wall, and every remaining trace holds valuable clues about the lives and civilizations of our ancestors. The mysterious challenges of the Jewish people, with their mystical religious rituals, or the mass graves of ancient peoples, have always left humanity astonished by their strangeness. But that's not all. Strange animal fossils and ancient creatures that modern science still cannot fully explain are also an essential part of the treasure trove of mysteries from the past. All of these are not just remnants of the past, but unsolved puzzles waiting for us to discover. So, what discoveries have archaeologists made in recent years? Let's dive into today's video to uncover the secrets of these discoveries right now. The ancient tomb, containing 450 skeletons. In 2013, while constructing a road in the village of Lucino, northeastern Poland, workers accidentally uncovered a terrifying mass grave. Excavated with great care, the grave contained about 450 skeletons, all showing signs that the deceased were once suspected of being vampires. According to ancient origins, the most well-preserved skeletons were found in strange positions, with their skulls placed between their legs and a coin placed in their mouths. This was an ancient practice reflecting the belief that a coin could prevent the soul of the deceased from rising. In addition, 3 large jars filled with other bones were found in the tomb. Archaeologists estimate that these skeletons were buried in the 19th century. Maciej Stromski, one of the archaeologists involved in the excavation, stated that this burial practice was a form of protection to prevent the deceased from becoming vampires. They were suspected of possibly rising from the dead due to some disease or a strange change in their bodies that made them appear vampire-like in folklore. After many analyses, researchers suggest that this mass grave might be related to an outbreak of a disease in the area around 200 years ago. Diseases such as tuberculosis, anemia, or certain genetic disorders could have caused the affected individuals to look pale, fatigued, avoid sunlight, and possibly cough up blood. These symptoms would have easily led to suspicion, causing them to be labeled as vampires. It is known that the vampire legend in Poland is rich, with many different beliefs about how to protect the dead to prevent them from coming back to life. In addition to using garlic, crosses, or holy water, as in some other countries, many tombs have shown even more extreme measures such as decapitation, staking through the heart, or even sealing the body in an iron coffin. As you can see, the mass grave in Lucino is certainly a clear evidence of ancient fears of vampires, as well as an important milestone in studying ancient Polish burial customs. 50. Ancient skeletons found beneath drainpipe. Recently, British authorities unexpectedly discovered the remains of a 3-year-old child in a wooden coffin beneath the drainpipe of the toilet in Westminster Abbey, London. What was particularly remarkable was that the skeleton did not match the characteristics of the monks buried nearby, which left archaeologists thoroughly puzzled. Furthermore, they continued to find 50 more human skeletons, all buried in the same area. According to research, these remains were buried over 1,000 years ago. It is believed that the 3-year-old child must have come from a family of high social status based on the burial style. However, the skeletons are too small and poorly preserved, so authorities have not been able to determine the child's gender. Experts hope that this discovery will provide more insight into the tumultuous events of 1066 at Westminster Abbey, during the period when 2 new kings were crowned after the death of the old king. The Abbey's archaeologist, Warwick Rodwell, stated, "The fact that the child was buried here is one of the hardest questions to answer, but it suggests that this is a place where many more remains of women and children can be found, remains that people would never have expected." Additionally, among the skeletons found near Poets' Corner, some skulls had holes caused by 13th century workers and were stacked beneath the drain pipes. These findings have only increased curiosity about the history and unsolved mysteries of this famous abbey. Archaeologists are currently continuing to study these remains to determine their age, health status, and the origins of the individuals buried there. Since only kings, queens, and high-ranking clergy were buried inside the church, it is likely that these were clergymen or individuals closely associated with the church, further enriching the mysterious stories of Westminster. Mass grave of headless warriors. While digging along the side of a drab old road in Dorset, England, archaeologists suddenly unearthed something remarkable: a mass grave containing the headless remains of 54 Viking warriors. Rather than interpret the pit as some sort of cautionary warning sign, an ancient hunting ground, and ignore it, the archaeologists carefully noted the position of the bones. As they did so, they began to notice something odd about the placement. Specifically, leg and arm bones, heads and torsos were all neatly stacked in separate piles. The initial hypothesis among archaeologists was that, after being captured by the people of a local village who had somehow escaped the Viking attack, the villagers killed their attackers, stripped them naked and dismembered them, and then removed some of their heads, perhaps for fun or as souvenirs. But this did not explain why the unfortunate Viking warriors were beheaded with an oddly precise sword strike from the front, rather than from behind the neck, as was the usual method of execution by decapitation. In fact, archaeologists later revised their hypothesis, admitting that the Vikings were probably not dismembered by their aggressors in revenge, but were sacrificed in a highly regulated spiritual ritual that was unlike the culture of the period. Sector 6th century treasure in Russia. In a city that was once Greek and is now located in the southwest of Russia, archaeologists have discovered a rare treasure consisting of copper coins dating back to the 6th century. According to the Institute of Archaeology of the Russian Academy of Sciences, 80 coins found in the treasure are remnants of a devastating fire that occurred 400 years ago. These copper coins, which symbolized currency, were widely used in trade across Greek-influenced regions. Scientists believe that the catastrophic fire destroyed part of the city, marking the beginning of an attack by the Huns or Turks. Treasures like this are hard to find, making this discovery a clear piece of evidence of a historical disaster, with the city's residents burying their wealth but being unable to return and recover it. The ancient coins were found in the ruins of the ancient city of Phanagoria, now part of Krasnodar Krai, on the Taman Peninsula, near the Black Sea. Archaeologists explain that this discovery is tied to the dramatic and mysterious history of Phanagoria during the medieval period, once the capital of one of the earliest Christian dioceses in Russia. A resident of Phanagoria had buried these ancient coins, which were likely minted around the end of the 3rd century or the beginning of the 4th century. Additionally, people of this period used gold coins as currency, representing higher denominations. To this day, it remains a mystery as to who destroyed the city of Phanagoria, but this newly found treasure may be invaluable evidence of historical events during the early medieval era. 500-year-old wolf's corpse, covered in pure gold. Mexican archaeologists recently made an astonishing discovery that shocked the scientific community: the remains of a wolf covered in pure gold, buried in a stone chest near Zocalo Square in Mexico City, not far from Templo Mayor, the sacred site of the ancient Aztecs. What makes this discovery particularly special is that alongside the 8-month-old wolf's remains, archaeologists also found 22 complete objects, including a pendant engraved with various symbols, a nose ring, and a breastplate made of thin gold sheets, forming a mysterious ritual. Through analysis, researchers believe that after the wolf was killed, Aztec priests adorned it with gold jewelry and a belt made from shells from the Atlantic Ocean. The wolf's remains were then carefully placed in the stone chest, with a layer of flint knives placed above it. Remarkably, the wolf was buried facing west, symbolizing Huitzilopochtli, the Aztec god of war and the sun goddess. According to Aztec beliefs, wolves were considered guides for fallen warriors, helping them cross the dangerous river into the afterlife. This discovery serves as strong evidence of a special sacrificial ritual practiced by the Aztecs and represents an important relic from the reign of King Ahuitzotl, 1486–1502, the most famous and powerful ruler of the Aztec Empire, who expanded its territory as far as modern-day Guatemala. This will undoubtedly be one of the key archaeological discoveries, shedding light on the religion and beliefs of the Aztec civilization. Mass grave reveals family tragedy. In 2011, Polish archaeologists discovered and excavated a mass grave near the village of Kozice. The grave contained 15 sets of remains of women and children, dating back more than 5,000 years. Through the excavation, it became clear that the site was the scene of a massacre from the Bronze Age, as the victims all had crushed skulls, However, what was strange was that the bodies were carefully arranged along with personal belongings. It is likely that those who buried the victims were very familiar with them. Further analysis revealed that all of the remains belonged to a large family spanning 3 generations, with 8 male and 7 female bodies. Most of the bodies were women and children, with one man buried between his wife and son. A 2-year-old child was buried without their parents but placed next to close relatives. Interestingly, a woman who was neither related nor genetically connected to anyone in the grave was buried next to a young man, indicating a close relationship between them. Further analysis shows that the massacre occurred between 2776 and 2880 BC during the globular amphora culture of the Indo-European period. Niels Johansson, co-author of the study and an archaeologist at Aarhus University, believes that after the men left the house, attackers likely broke in, leading to the massacre. The reason for the massacre is still unknown, but it could have been the result of intercultural violence. The globular amphora culture predated the corded ware culture and included several neighboring groups. According to researchers, the massacre may have been driven by a struggle for resources amid the growing dominance of the corded ware culture. 99-million-year-old snail fossil. A remarkable discovery has been announced by researchers who found a fossil of a land snail dating back approximately 99 million years, trapped in amber in Myanmar. This is the oldest snail fossil ever discovered, providing valuable insight into the evolution of this species. What makes this discovery even more impressive is that it was not just a single snail, but a family of snails. The mother snail and 5 newborns were all trapped in amber while they were in the process of giving birth, making it a rare event never before documented. Through detailed analysis using high-resolution CT technology, scientists identified the snails as belonging to the cyclopoid family, with small shells measuring only about 1.27 centimeters in diameter. Notably, the species was named Creta tortulosa gignans, emphasizing the vibrant and miraculous nature of life over time. Evolutionary biologist Adrienne Jochum from the Senckenberg Research Institute and the Frankfurt Museum of Natural History stated, "This is an incredibly miraculous discovery. The baby snails were almost completely enveloped by amber right after they were born 99 million years ago, and they have remained in that state ever since." Thanks to this exceptional preservation, scientists now have a clearer understanding of snail evolution. Unlike other snails, the Creta tortulosa gignans species evolved to give birth to live young rather than laying eggs, which may have been an important factor in their survival in the tropical forests of the Cretaceous period. The Devil's Trails. On the western slope of Mount Roccamonfina, located in the Caserta province of the Campania region in southern Italy, an astonishing archaeological discovery has left researchers stunned. Here, researchers uncovered the Devil's Trails, an area where ancient footprints were preserved in a lava flow dating from 385,000 to 325,000 years ago. These footprints are not just remnants of the past. They tell the story of a struggle, possibly humans hurrying to cross the scorching lava flow. Remarkably, in addition to footprints, there are sometimes even fingerprints, indicating that these ancient people may have grabbed the ground as they slid down the slope. While there is no definitive theory about the exact human species that left these footprints, most studies suggest they belong to either Homo erectus or Homo heidelbergensis. One common hypothesis is that this group of people may have been fleeing from a volcanic eruption. This theory is further supported by the presence of mineral samples in the footprints, particularly lead from the volcano, which aligns with the eruption theory. The footprints also suggest that the tallest person in the group could have been up to 150 centimeters tall, but Homo heidelbergensis, a larger human species, could reach heights over 180 centimeters and weigh up to 90 kilos. An interesting detail is the significant size difference between males and females, reflecting clear sexual dimorphism in this human group. This discovery not only sheds light on a distant past, but also opens up new hypotheses about the lives of ancient people during challenging times. Ancient rooms beneath the ground. On May 19th, Israeli archaeologists revealed the discovery of mysterious underground rooms found beneath a foundation stone layer in an area near the Second Jewish Temple, believed to have existed 2 millennia ago. The rooms began to emerge as students from a military academy carried out an excavation of a large and luxurious Byzantine-era structure, approximately 1400 years old, beneath the Western Wall Plaza in the Old City of Jerusalem. Like many inhabited locations over the past millennium, numerous areas in Jerusalem still feature deep archaeological layers, a result of successive social periods building on previous structures rather than clearing away old ruins. According to Barak Givon, the director of the excavation project for the Israel Antiquities Authority, researchers made a major surprise discovery during their investigation. He stated, "What they found here is a system of cut stone, with 3 rooms, all hewn from the foundation stone layer of ancient Jerusalem and connected by stairs. These rooms were created in the early Roman period, with an emphasis on their rarity in later Jewish cities. The discovery is located about 30 meters from the Temple Mount, the holiest site for Jews, where the Second Jewish Temple once stood before its destruction by the Romans in 70 AD. The rooms contain intricate carvings and wall niches that were likely used to hold oil lamps to light the room. While researchers have not yet determined the function of these rooms, Givon suggested that they may have served as underground storage for food in a building or could have been a separate facility used to prepare meals for the city's priests, pilgrims, or visitors to the temple. He noted that jars for food storage, used to cook daily meals, oil lamps, and containers for wheat, barley, or olive oil were found here. A 3,000-year-old palace. In the ancient city of Gezer, Israel, archaeologists have uncovered the remains of a 3,000-year-old palace. The palace was built in the 10th century BCE during the reign of King Solomon, who is described as a wise, powerful king with enormous wealth. The Bible records that during his 40-year reign, Solomon accumulated 25 tons of gold annually, making him one of the wealthiest kings in human history. He is also credited with establishing Israel as a Jewish state. The ancient palace found in Israel is larger than most buildings from the same era. Archaeologists also discovered pottery from the Philistines, a statue of the goddess Ashdod, several amulets, and a children's rattle drum. The palace is believed to have been destroyed in 935 BCE by Pharaoh Shishak, also known as Shishak in the Bible, who attacked the city of Gezer around the 10th century BCE. However, all of the items were moved beforehand. It's likely that the residents knew of the impending attack and had relocated most of their belongings to another secret location. 8-million-year-old turtle fossil. Scientists have recently announced the discovery of a fossil of a giant turtle, roughly the size of a sedan, that lived in the bottom of large rivers and lakes in South America between 5 and 10 million years ago. This turtle species is not only an astonishing find, but also far larger than any modern turtle species. According to Marcelo Sanchez, director of the Museum and Institute of Paleontology at the University of Zurich and leader of the research team, the turtle's shell was nearly 3 meters long, making it the largest turtle ever discovered. Based on fossilized shells and jawbones, scientists estimate that this turtle could have weighed over 1,250 kilograms, nearly 100 times heavier than its surviving relatives, such as the Amazon River turtle. This also makes it twice as heavy as the leatherback sea turtle, the largest turtle species still in existence. Additionally, the fossils reveal an interesting detail. The male turtle had a horn-like structure on its shell, which may have been used to fight other males during mating season. The fossils of this giant turtle were first discovered around 1970, but many questions remained unanswered. However, new and comprehensive findings from recent studies have given researchers a clearer understanding of this remarkable creature. The new fossils also indicate that this giant turtle had a diverse diet, including fish, snakes, crocodiles, mollusks, as well as fruit and grass. This has allowed scientists to develop hypotheses about the survival and eating habits of this species, shedding new light on the study of ancient animals and the biodiversity of prehistoric South America. On 700-year-old Roman amphitheater. Researchers have excavated remnants of a Roman gladiator arena believed to be 700 years old. These amphitheaters were typically used to showcase gladiatorial combat in ancient Rome. The newly discovered arena was built in an abandoned Roman quarry. The discovery, along with a coin dated between 337 and 341 AD, suggests that this could be the oldest amphitheater in the Roman Empire. Archaeologist Jakob Berlacher revealed several clues indicating that it dates back to the 4th century AD. One key clue is the construction material, including stone blocks and mortar, which closely resembles the walls of ancient forts from the same period. The arena is approximately 50 meters long and 40 meters wide, located within a valley of the quarry. Additionally, archaeologists unearthed a large gate on the southern side of the arena, where they found a well-preserved sandstone block. The interior walls of the arena were plastered, and several unique markings were found on the wooden bleachers and seats. Archaeologists confirmed that all the evidence, including the oval shape of the structure, entrances, and walls, indicates that this is an ancient Roman amphitheater where intense gladiatorial combat was once witnessed by the ancient public. 900-year-old sword. A diver has discovered a 900-year-old sword, believed to have belonged to a Crusader soldier off the coast of Haifa in the Mediterranean Sea. Despite being covered by marine life, the sword can be identified as made of iron, weighing around 1 to 2 kilos, with a blade that is 1 meter long. This rare medieval artifact was found in pristine condition, preserved by the sand, which protected it from oxidation. The Carmel coast, where the sword was found, has numerous small coves that served as storm shelters for ships for centuries. As a result, many artifacts have been uncovered in this area. Remarkably, this 900-year-old sword seems to be the only Crusader-era artifact discovered in the region, as other findings belong to the Bronze Age, around 4,000 years ago. The Crusades, which began in 1095 and continued for centuries, were religious wars conducted by Christian knights with the main objective of reclaiming control of the Holy Land. Some researchers suggest that the sword may be linked to the Atlit fortress, located 13 kilometers from Haifa, which was built in 1218 during the Fifth Crusade. The mystery of the stone jars of the dead. Specifically, archaeologists from the Australian National University, ANU, recently discovered 15 new sites containing hundreds of massive stone jars holding traces of an ancient civilization. These megalithic structures, over 1,000 years old, continue to raise many unanswered questions. The Plain of Jars, located on the Xiangkuang Plateau, is an archaeological treasure scattered across thousands of square kilometers, with numerous giant stone jars, some as tall as 10 feet, lying dormant, awaiting decryption. Local legends tell of these stone jars being wine vessels of a giant people, while other theories suggest they were once coffins used in burial rituals. However, archaeologists have their own theory, that these are tombs for the deceased, part of an ancient civilization whose origins we still don't fully understand. The latest discovery by Australian scientists shows that these stone jars are not only widely dispersed, but could also provide important clues about the history and culture of the region. Additionally, one of the newly discovered sites is deep within a remote forest on a mountain, where there are 137 stone jars. Nicholas Skopal, a researcher at ANU, shared that this area is so isolated that only tiger hunters dare venture there. He hopes that this discovery will shed light on much about this ancient culture, particularly how the people of that time buried their dead. The fact that these stone jars were carved from stone and transported over many miles to their current locations remains a major question, leading archaeologists to continue their search for answers. The mystery of the Plain of Jars in Laos not only challenges archaeologists, but also sparks the curiosity of all the history enthusiasts. Although an official answer has yet to be found, these new discoveries might be the key to unlocking a new chapter in the journey of understanding a forgotten civilization. 4,000-year-old ancient wall. Located in the heart of the Viru Valley in the La Libertad region, about 300 miles north of Peru's capital, Lima, archaeologists have discovered an ancient wall dating back over 4,000 years. This discovery has immediately opened new doors to the history and ancient culture of the region, shedding light on religious rituals from a long-gone era. The ancient wall, thought to be part of a temple, is estimated to stand about 10 feet tall and is decorated with red and yellow triangular patterns, creating a mesmerizing sight. According to archaeologist Ferran Castillo, the head of the research project in the La Libertad coastal area, this wall was accidentally discovered by a group of farmers during harvest in 2020. This find led to an expanded excavation and the precise dating of the structure. These discoveries further illuminate many aspects of ancient Peruvian cultures, which were once centers for important religious rituals. It is known that northern Peru, especially the coastal region, was home to complexes used for ancient rituals dating back more than 5,000 years. This is one of the most significant archaeological areas in Peru, where monumental structures and relics reflecting the development of civilization in this region can be found. While Machu Picchu, one of the most famous landmarks, is located in the Cusco region and was the center of the Inca Empire. Ancient walls like these in La Libertad offer valuable insights into pre-Inca cultures, revealing an unknown chapter of history. This discovery shows that Peru is not only the homeland of the ruins of the mighty Inca Empire, but also preserves many mysteries about ancient civilizations, with enigmatic structures and rich historical heritage. Mysterious mummies beneath the Arctic ice. Experts have unearthed the remains of a mummy of an adult and a child, wrapped in thick fabric, animal fur, and tree bark, and preserved in permanent ice for centuries in the Arctic. Additionally, the adult mummy was encased in a copper shell. Experts believe the copper shell indicates a civilization that knew how to craft copper. They wrapped the mummy in copper to preserve it and protect it from bacterial infiltration. On the other hand, the cold Siberian weather provided ideal conditions for preserving the mummies. The adult mummy is nearly 5.6 feet long, and experts have confirmed it is an adult that was fully grown. The small mummy is believed to be that of a child about 6 months old. The two mummies were discovered at an archaeological site in Salikhard, the Arctic capital of Russia. Salikhard sits on the Yamal Peninsula, along the shores of the Kara Sea in the far northern ocean. The average temperature there is -20 degrees Fahrenheit. Experts will analyze the mummies in a laboratory, where they will examine the genetics, conduct forensic analysis, and study their history to learn more about the civilization that preserved the bodies. Researchers are not yet certain of the age of the mummies, but the excavation site is part of the Zeleny Yar historical site, which dates back to around the 13th century during the medieval period. These are not the first mummies discovered at the Zeleny Yar archaeological site. In fact, these two mummies are part of nearly 100 mummies found at Zeleny Yar, first unearthed 20 years ago. The Zeleny Yar site includes 3 historical structures: a copper smelting workshop from the 16th to 17th centuries, a burial site from the 18th to 19th centuries, and a cemetery from the 13th century. Additionally, archaeologists have found a 10th century copper bowl originating from Persia, located 3,700 miles from modern-day Iran. The reason this Persian artifact was brought to Siberia is still unknown. Researchers have yet to establish a connection between the Persian civilization and the Siberian civilization, and so they continue to hope that one day they will uncover the link between these two ancient cultures. Jewish relic. In 2015, a strange event occurred at a cemetery in Jerusalem when a maintenance worker accidentally discovered a mysterious object shaped like a pestle and made of metal. This object astonished scientists when it was revealed that it was coated with a layer of 24-karat gold. Its mystery was so intriguing that the Israel Antiquities Authority became involved, but despite thorough investigations, experts were unable to determine its age or purpose. After a long period of research with no results, the authorities decided to seek help from the online community. Soon after, a photo of the object was posted on Facebook, attracting thousands of predictions and theories about its possible use. Among these, a man named Micah Barak offered a compelling explanation. He suggested that the object was an Isis beamer, a device originating from ancient Egyptian culture named after the goddess Isis. According to him, this was a tool used by nature-worshipping religious followers to absorb energy from the surrounding environment and heal. However, this is just his personal theory, and the true purpose of the object remains unknown. Even after many decades, scientists are still stumped. Devil's Arrow. In Yorkshire, England, 3 massive standing stones have remained upright for thousands of years, creating a mysterious and strange sight that attracts history enthusiasts. These stones, dating back about 3,200 years from the Neolithic or Bronze Age, are known as the tallest standing burial stones in England. Locals call them by various names, but the most common is Devil's Arrow. A 17th century legend tells that a resident of the village of Aldborough accidentally angered the devil, who, in his fury, uprooted the giant stones and used them as enormous arrows to attack the village. Fortunately, an angel intervened, causing the arrows to veer off course and fall into the surrounding areas. The 3 stones, which stand at heights of approximately 22 feet, 22 feet, and 18 feet, still stand proudly today, although they have been threatened by the passage of time. The local church views them as a gateway to Satan, while the villagers believe they are part of an ancient ritual tied to prehistoric ceremonies. In 1709, the Yorkshire authorities conducted an excavation of these stones and discovered that they were reinforced with stones, gravel, and compacted clay, showing that they had been carefully carved and smoothed before being buried and reinforced with gravel. However, despite being studied for centuries, British archaeologists have still not been able to unravel the origin or purpose of these stones. The rare ruins of the Roman Temple. Sarsina is a dull rural town with only 3,000 residents, located amidst the pristine Apennine Mountains in the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy. It is surrounded by breathtaking scenery and grazing flocks of sheep. Although this place once had a glorious past, serving as a strategic defensive outpost of the Roman Empire and being the birthplace of the famous playwright Plautus, today there is not much to do other than go for long walks and bird watching. While both locals and tourists agree that the rustic lifestyle and slow pace are part of Sarsina's charm, the town's residents are still eagerly awaiting the construction of a new development that includes a supermarket, fitness center, and playground. However, things did not go according to plan. In December 2022, workers on the outskirts of the town unearthed the remains of an ancient Roman temple dating back to the 1st century BC. In early July of the following year, the first glimpse of the underground treasure emerged, a majestic structure made of horizontal sandstone blocks and marble slabs covering an area of 6,200 square feet. Researchers have identified it as an altar, with columns and walls of an ancient temple built above it. According to Paraglia, the discovery of the main temple in such an important Roman city, which was a commercial hub and a center for religious and social interactions, further emphasizes Sarsina's strategic role in the Roman Empire. The town was built in a significant mountainous area near the Tuscan border, overlooking the Savio River, an important waterway connecting central and northern Roman cities. This discovery has given archaeologists the opportunity to uncover unique remains and artifacts that may lie beneath the ground in Sarsina, as well as helping them to delve deeper into the demographics and urban transformation of ancient times. Darwin's strange creatures. During his adventurous journey around the world in search of evidence for the theory of evolution, Charles Darwin not only collected important specimens, but also discovered strange fossils that sparked great curiosity in the scientific community. Two of the most notable fossils he found were Macrauchenia and Toxodon, creatures with shapes and structures that could not be easily explained. Macrauchenia was an animal with a body similar to a camel without a hump, but with a short, small trunk like an elephant's. Toxodon, on the other hand, had a body resembling a rhinoceros, a head like a hippopotamus, and teeth similar to those of rodents, a bizarre combination that led Darwin to exclaim, "Toxodon is one of the strangest animals I have ever discovered." Although the fossils of these creatures had puzzled scientists for decades, studying them was challenging, especially given that the hot, humid climate of South America had caused the fossils to decay heavily. However, since DNA could not be analyzed, scientists decided to study collagen chains, a protein that helps form bones and can last longer than DNA. They collected collagen samples from various animals, both living and extinct, to compare them with Toxodon and Macrauchenia. The results of this study were truly surprising. These strange animals belong to the group of South American hoofed mammals, living about 60 million years ago and disappearing only around 12,000 years ago. This discovery opened a new perspective on our understanding of the evolutionary process as well as the diversity of species throughout Earth's history. These findings not only confirmed the importance of fossil research, but also further supported Darwin's theory of evolution, proving that life on this planet continually changes and evolves in remarkable ways that we cannot yet fully explain. Unique ancient stone statues in Petra. Petra, located in what is now Jordan and Israel, was once the heart of the Middle East, a political, commercial, and cultural hub. The city was initially established as a trade center for the native Nabateans. However, its population and significance quickly grew, attracting people from all over to open shops. As a result, the Nabateans accumulated great wealth. As the city flourished, neighboring nations became envious and began planning its conquest. In 106 AD, the Romans breached the city walls and took control of Petra. The Romans continued to rule Petra for 250 years until an earthquake devastated most of the city. From that point onward, Petra fell into decline. The city never regained its former glory, becoming a forgotten and barren land. In the 19th century, after learning of Petra's existence, archaeologists embarked on a journey to witness firsthand how advanced this civilization once was. During their search, they discovered several stone statues with significant meanings. These statues revealed that the Nabateans worshipped three gods: Alat, the daughter of Allah; Al-Uzza, the mighty one; and Manat, the goddess of fate. Dr. Glenn Corbett from the American Center for Eastern Studies in Jordan stated, "The Nabateans who lived in Petra seemed particularly devoted to the goddess Al-Uzza, known as the mightiest one." At the center of Petra lies the Temple of the Winged Lions, where archaeologists found one of these idols. They said, "An idol with unique eyes was discovered here, intricately carved, representing the goddess Al-Uzza." The setting of the temple suggests that it was the site of mysterious rituals with a cult dedicated to Al-Uzza. These rituals would include incense burning and chanting. Female priests played an important role in these ceremonies. The prominence of Al-Uzza indicates that women in Nabatean society held significant roles. It is certain that they enjoyed more rights and freedoms compared to women in Europe or Rome. 17,000-year-old kangaroo drawing. An archaeological study published in Nature Human Behavior on February 22 reveals what is believed to be the oldest cave painting in Australia. According to experts from the University of Melbourne, they discovered the ancient cave painting in the Kimberley region of Western Australia. The research team stated that the painting depicts a 6.5-foot-long kangaroo, including its genitalia, inside a cave located on the land of the Unghango people. Using radiocarbon dating, the team confirmed that the painting dates back to about 17,100 to 17,500 years, most likely around 17,300 years ago. Dr. Damien Finch, the lead author of the study, noted that this is the oldest intact cave painting ever discovered in Australia. However, this painting is not the oldest cave art in the world, with the record going to a 45,000-year-old wild boar painting found in Indonesia. Researchers had previously examined the stylistic features of the kangaroo painting and the surrounding drawings, as well as the sequence in which they were painted. From this, they were able to identify the earliest artistic style known as the Naturalism period, which began around 28,000 BC. During this time, animals were often depicted in their life-size proportions. For scientists, this discovery is significant because through these initial studies, they can gain some understanding of the world in which ancient artists lived. While we can never truly know what was in the minds of those artists when they painted this piece more than 600 generations ago, we do know that the Naturalism period extends back to the last ice age. Moreover, this new discovery provides insights into ancient life, such as the cooler and drier climate of the time. Notably, Dr. Sven Oosman from the School of Social Sciences at the University of Western Australia even suggested that this cave painting could provide deeper knowledge about the history of indigenous culture. He noted similarities with the world's oldest cave painting found on an island in Indonesia, which suggests a cultural connection and raises the hypothesis that rock art may have existed in Australia long before the evidence humans have discovered. The next step for researchers is to determine the exact start and end dates of each artistic period based on the differences in style seen in the cave paintings of Kimberley. While this remains a challenging task, they hope to unravel the mystery and have answers soon. The enormous mysterious vault inside the Great Pyramid. Scientists have recently discovered an additional chamber about the size of a passenger airplane inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu, the largest and oldest pyramid in the Giza Pyramid complex in Egypt. This ancient pyramid, which has stood for over 4,500 years, continues to be a mystery. This vault is the fourth chamber inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu, alongside the King and Queen's burial chambers and the Grand Gallery, which is also the first major structure discovered inside the pyramid since the 19th century. The exact shape and size of this new vault are unclear, and its purpose remains a mystery. However, the vault is estimated to be at least 100 feet long and is located above the Grand Gallery, a 164-foot-long, 30-foot-high sloped corridor that connects the burial chamber of Pharaoh Khufu in the heart of the pyramid to a tunnel that leads outside. To date, 138 pyramids have been discovered in Egypt. All of them were built along the Nile River, the longest river in the world, which spans over 3,700 miles. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, standing 455 feet tall and 755 feet wide, is believed to be the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu and is the last remaining wonder of the ancient world. The pyramid is also known as Cheops. Despite thousands of years passing and significant advancements in science and technology, the pyramid remains a mystery to humanity. The Buddhist treasure buried for 70 years. Recently, archaeologists revealed that a remarkable Buddhist treasure was discovered in the Gobi Desert, marking a historic event after more than 70 years of being forgotten. These sacred objects were buried in the 1930s, during a period of turmoil when the Soviet regime looted and destroyed hundreds of Buddhist monasteries in Mongolia. The leader of the excavation team, Mr. Michael Eisenriegler, could not hide his astonishment, describing the discovery as a once-in-a-lifetime surprise. In total, 64 boxes containing Buddhist relics were found, including Buddha statues, works of art, ancient manuscripts, and personal items belonging to a famous monk named Danzan Ravja, who had a profound influence on Buddhism in Mongolia. Notably, these sacred objects were buried by a monk named Tudev, who took every opportunity to protect the treasure from being looted by the Soviet and Mongolian armies. Only Tudev and his grandson knew the location of these precious artifacts. After Tudev's grandson unearthed some of the boxes and opened a museum, Austrian and Mongolian archaeologists continued searching and discovered 2 more boxes. This event not only has deep cultural significance, but also rekindles hope for the restoration of spiritual values that were lost during the dark period of Soviet rule. Mr. Eisenriegler shared, "These discoveries are of immense value to Mongolian culture, as Buddhism was nearly eradicated in the 1930s. It is expected that these relics will be displayed at the Danzan Ravja Museum, located 250 miles south of the capital Ulaanbaatar, offering the public and tourists the opportunity to witness a part of Mongolia's great cultural heritage." Furthermore, around 20 more boxes of Buddhist relics remain buried beneath the sand, and archaeologists hope to uncover them in the future, continuing the search for hidden Buddhist treasures that have been concealed for decades. Giant dinosaur footprints. On September 30th, a groundbreaking discovery was announced in the Gobi Desert, Mongolia, when scientists found a colossal dinosaur footprint, the largest ever seen. This footprint measures 3.47 feet in length and 2.53 feet in width, providing a new clue about the giant creatures that once ruled the planet millions of years ago. This discovery is not only an archaeological marvel, but also offers an opportunity to better understand the lives of these magnificent beings that existed during the Cretaceous period. According to the research team from Okayama University of Science in Japan, this footprint may belong to a titanosaur, a massive herbivorous dinosaur with an impressive size, growing up to 98 feet in length and standing as tall as 66 feet. The fossils were found in the geological layer of the Gobi Desert, formed 70 to 90 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period when dinosaurs still dominated the Earth. What makes this discovery special is that the fossilized footprint is in an incredibly well-preserved state, with clear impressions of the dinosaur's claws. This is a rare find in the field of archaeology because dinosaur footprints are so perfectly preserved, allowing scientists to reconstruct the shape, size, and biological characteristics of the dinosaur it belonged to. The appearance of this footprint not only helps researchers understand more about the past, but also opens up new opportunities for scientific discoveries. With hopes of uncovering more traces, scientists continue to survey the area for additional dinosaur fossils. These discoveries could usher in a new era of studying the history of life on Earth, and who knows, they might reveal more fascinating secrets from the age of giant creatures that lived millions of years ago. The Ghost City, covering 100 square miles. Hidden at the edge of the Gobi Desert in the Xinjiang Autonomous Region of northwestern China lies a landmark that has intrigued and amazed many with its strangeness and mysterious beauty. This is the Ghost City, also known as World Mystery Town or Mogi Cheng. With its uniquely shaped rock formations and the eerie sounds that emanate when the wind blows through, this place has become one of the most mysterious and fascinating destinations in the area. The Ghost City is famous for its bizarre rock formations that create a landscape resembling an ancient, ruined city. These rocks were formed over millions of years by natural forces like wind, rain, and erosion. From a distance, the rocks appear to resemble towers, castles, or even giant stone creatures, creating a scene that is both majestic and haunting. The Ghost City, located in Karamay, spans a total area of about 100 square miles, with the core Yardang geological region covering around 8.5 square miles. This area stretches from the northwest to the southeast and is known for its unique natural landscapes, including the Gobi Desert Yardang terrain, desert canyons, and distinctive stone poplar trees. What makes the Ghost City most remarkable is the strange sounds that can be heard when the wind blows through the cracks in the rocks. The whistling, howling, and moaning sounds resemble the cries of wandering souls, linking the area to many ghost stories and folk legends. Local people believe that these sounds are the voices of spirits trapped in the rocks, creating an atmosphere that is both mysterious and captivating. These eerie sounds are what led to the name Ghost City, and it has become a must-visit destination for those fascinated by the mysterious and looking to uncover the secrets of nature. In addition to its strange beauty and mystical sounds, the Ghost City is steeped in folklore and legends. Locals tell stories of how this place was once a thriving city, but it was cursed and abandoned after a terrible natural disaster. The spirits of the former inhabitants are said to still linger in the city, causing eerie sounds at night. Besides its cultural and legendary value, the Ghost City also holds great scientific significance. It is an important location for geological and climatic research, helping scientists better understand the process of erosion and how the environment has changed over time. Studies here could provide vital information about the area's geological history as well as the formation of the unique rock structures. Ancient cave paintings. In the Gobi Desert, located in the Gansu province of China, archaeologists have discovered a unique archaeological treasure. More than 300 ancient rock paintings dating back to the spring and autumn period, approximately 2,500 years ago. These paintings are scattered across 7 different locations, but they had been forgotten for centuries due to the area's remote, isolated, and difficult to access nature. However, when rediscovered, they opened a crucial window for researchers to better understand the history and culture of the ancient peoples of this region. Notably, these paintings were not carved, as is commonly done, but instead feature intricate carvings, demonstrating a high level of artistry and technique from the ancient people. The paintings primarily focus on common activities of the time, such as archery, martial arts, and horseback riding, skills essential for the nomadic tribe's way of life. Additionally, images of animals like deer, sheep, cattle, camels, elephants, tigers, and many others also appear, reflecting the close bond between humans and nature. Interestingly, archaeologists believe these paintings may have been created by a common culture, as there are many similarities in the patterns and themes, particularly in scenes of hunting and herding livestock. This suggests a strong connection between the communities living in the region, bridging the Neolithic and Bronze Ages. The paintings are not only works of art, but also valuable documents about the lifestyles, beliefs, and customs of ancient peoples. Furthermore, this area lies along the ancient Silk Road, which connected the west to the east, serving as a route for trade and cultural exchange. Therefore, these discoveries are not just archaeologically significant, but also of immense historical value, providing researchers with authentic evidence of cultural links between ancient civilizations along the Hexi Corridor, from the northwest to the banks of the Yellow River. The rock paintings in the Gobi Desert are truly a vivid testament to the development of civilization during a crucial period in human history. The death worm, the monster of the desert. In the Gobi Desert, one of the harshest and most mysterious deserts in Asia, there exists a terrifying creature known as the death worm. It is said that this creature has instilled a deep fear in the local people for centuries. Stories about the death worm were first recorded in the 1920s, and since then, its legend has continued to intrigue and scare many. According to the legend, the death worm is enormous, reaching lengths of up to 3.3 feet, with a dark red body that stands out against the yellow sand of the desert. This distinct coloration makes it easily identifiable whenever it appears. The creature's thick, tough skin helps it withstand the intense heat and dryness of the desert environment. But what makes the death worm truly frightening is its ability to kill its prey. With a mouth full of sharp teeth, it can tear its prey apart mercilessly. Additionally, the death worm is capable of emitting a powerful electrical charge strong enough to incapacitate prey from a distance. Most notably, the death worm can also spit out a potent acid venom that can corrode metal. If a creature falls victim to this venom, it has no chance of surviving. These characteristics have made the death worm a terrifying legend for the ancient inhabitants of the region. The thrilling stories of the death worm have captured the attention of many explorers and scientists who have spent considerable time and effort searching for traces of this mysterious creature. However, despite the numerous expeditions to the Gobi Desert, no one has ever found any solid evidence of its existence. To this day, the legend of the death worm remains one of the greatest mysteries, leaving many to continue speculating about the existence of this desert monster. Mysterious structures. In 2011, Google Earth discovered strange structures in the Gobi Desert, China, creating unexplainable shapes. These images attracted the attention not only of researchers, but also of conspiracy theory enthusiasts. These structures, resembling the strange drawings on the Nazca Plateau in Peru or the mysterious crop circles in England, led many to wonder, could they be traces of extraterrestrial life, or perhaps the remnants of a forgotten civilization? Located about 100 miles from China's Space Center, these shapes form a peculiar pattern across the barren desert. Two of these shapes are as long as 1.2 miles and about 0.6 miles wide, leading many to compare them to a map of a city without buildings, only strange roads. Some experts suggest that these large triangular shapes could be modeled after city roads, designed as part of rocket testing or military programs. In fact, China's Shenzhou 7 rocket was launched in September 2008 from an area just a few miles away from these mysterious structures, raising suspicions that they could be part of a secret military or nuclear facility. However, the true purpose of these structures has yet to be clarified. Are they part of a military base, a scientific research project, or could they be related to an ancient civilization or even extraterrestrials? These questions remain unanswered. Experts have yet to provide a clear explanation, and the mystery surrounding these strange structures continues to intrigue both researchers and the public. To this day, these constructions remain among the world's great unsolved mysteries. The mysterious Devil's Eye. Qinghai Province in China is well known for the Devil's Eye in the Gobi Desert. This Devil's Eye is formed by the Aachen Hot Springs, located beneath the Kunlun Mountains. According to researchers, the Aachen Hot Springs has a diameter of over 32.8 feet. The continuously boiling water, which emits smoke, contains sulfur minerals. Over time, the sulfur precipitates, and during the spring, the surrounding soil around the Aachen Hot Springs turns into unique colors like reddish-brown and yellow. The spring water, which erupts from the ground, mixes with the surrounding sediment, highlighting the surrounding land. When viewed from above, the Aachen Hot Springs looks like a giant, ominous devil's eye. In Mongolian, Aachen means terrifying or horrifying. When visiting the Devil's Eye in the Gobi Desert, you'll easily notice that this place is unlike any other hot spring. What makes it different is that there are no trees or life forms around the Aachen Hot Springs. This is because of the high sulfur content, which prevents any plants or animals from surviving. The sulfur concentration in the Aachen Hot Springs is much higher than normal. As a result, any animal that drinks the water from this spring will die quickly. The sulfur also corrodes the rocks, making them soft, so they can easily break with just a slight touch. This makes it essential to be very careful when approaching the Aachen Hot Springs. Although the Aachen Hot Springs is quite dangerous and its water should not be consumed directly, scientists have said that soaking your feet in a small amount of the water can help treat athlete's foot. Additionally, during the summer, the sulfur in the Aachen Hot Springs acts as a repellent, keeping insects away, which is quite a fascinating and wonderful fact. Truly, nature always surprises us with things we can't predict, no matter how knowledgeable we are. The Moon Lake, suddenly rising in the desert. As mentioned earlier, the Gobi Desert stretches across both China and India, and it is famous for being one of the 5 largest deserts in the world, as well as the largest desert in Asia, with many attractive landscapes and fascinating experiences. One of the most intriguing tourist spots, often referred to as a paradise in the Gobi Desert, is an oasis with a crescent-shaped lake formed by underground water. This site is called Yueyakwan, or Crescent Lake. Yueyakwan is shaped like a crescent moon, measuring approximately 718 feet in length and 177 feet in width. According to ancient stories, the lake has existed for a very long time, at least around 2,000 years. What makes this place even more special is that it was once a key stop for merchants on the famous Silk Road, which has also made it culturally significant. When you visit this oasis, you will not only admire the resilient vegetation in the arid Gobi Desert, but also witness architectural structures that reflect the feudal era, including a magnificent palace right in the middle of the barren desert. Notably, a temple was built beside the lake, making the natural scenery even more stunning, like a paradise on earth. The landscape is so enchanting that it draws many tourists. Additionally, this beautiful crescent-shaped lake is not only an interesting tourist destination, but also the primary water source for the residents of Dunhuang. Despite living in the harsh environment of the Gobi Desert, Yueyakwan's waters have never run dry. Throughout the year, the water changes in unique ways, creating distinct features each time you visit, which adds to the excitement and uniqueness of this destination. China's Area 51. Area 51 is the code name given to the secret military base of the United States Armed Forces. Despite the U.S. denying the existence of such a base for decades, it was officially recognized as Area 51 in 2013. China, being one of the largest military powers in the world, has led many to speculate about the existence of its own version of Area 51. Thanks to Google Maps, some explorers have discovered a strange structure resembling a high-tech military base in the Gobi Desert. When these images appeared on the internet, people began to associate them with extraterrestrial activity. This discovery spread through YouTube channels like Third Phase of Moon, which primarily focus on UFOs and conspiracy theories about aliens. Some even refer to it as China's Stonehenge. However, as speculations about the site grew, it became clearer that, despite its unusual appearance, this is undoubtedly a man-made structure. Fox News cited a comment that said, "Stop exaggerating, it's just a reconnaissance aircraft test site, a camera, and target detection equipment. Every country with satellites has ballistic missiles or an ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance fleet with this kind of range." Satellite images show a series of circular structures with some aircraft, which could possibly be military jets. The runways for these aircraft are also visible through satellite imagery. People began to search through older satellite images of the area and found that there have always been at least 4 aircraft stationed there for the past 13 years. So what exactly is it? Does China have its own Area 51? To this day, this remains a mystery that only those directly involved may truly know. Desert Beast, half dinosaur, half bird, with 2-toed wings. In October 2020, British scientists recreated an unimaginable creature from a 68-million-year-old fossilized skeleton unearthed in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia. This beast was named Oxoko avarsan, a strange creature that combines features of both dinosaurs and birds. It had feathers like a bird, a hard, toothless beak, small wings up to 6.6 feet long, and a body shape resembling a theropod dinosaur. Most notably, the creature's wings ended with 2 sharp claws, making Oxoko avarsan both bizarre and terrifying. Oxoko avarsan belongs to the Oviraptor family, a group of dinosaurs known for combining features of birds and carnivores. It had 3 toes on each foot and evolved in a unique direction that allowed it to adapt to a variety of living conditions and rapidly increase in number. Compared to its ancestors, Oxoko avarsan was much smaller and had lost one of the toes on its front limbs. This shows the significant evolutionary changes the species underwent, possibly to adapt to the harsh conditions of the Gobi Desert. Paleontologists from the University of Edinburgh, UK, noted that Oxoco avarsan was a transitional species between dinosaurs and birds, marking an important evolutionary step in the development of modern birds, following the mass extinction of dinosaurs about 66 million years ago. One of the notable features was the loss of a toe on the forelimb, one of the first changes in the transition to birds. Another interesting fact is that Oxoco avarsan was highly social, with a fossil group discovered containing the remains of 4 juvenile dinosaurs found together. This suggests that this species may have traveled in groups to protect each other from predators, a social behavior that likely helped them survive in the dangerous environment. This discovery not only opens new insights into this bizarre creature, but also serves as a key to understanding the evolutionary process between dinosaurs and birds. 100-year-old aristocratic mummy, still wearing perfect clothing. On September 2, 2017, workers at a construction site in Jizhu Village, Anhua County, Hunan Province, China, unexpectedly unearthed an ancient coffin containing the body of a man, preserved in astounding condition after centuries. The man's remains are believed to date back to the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644, or the Qing Dynasty, 1644 to 1912, both of which were powerful periods in Chinese history. What stunned experts was the immaculate preservation of the body, despite being in the coffin for centuries. The man was found wearing high-quality clothing, a possible sign of wealth or nobility. Alongside him was a treasured fan, a fascinating detail showing that personal items were significant in ancient burial rituals. The coffin was made of limestone and fine wood, materials that helped protect the body from the ravages of time. Chinese heritage experts suggest that this could be a valuable mummy, possibly belonging to someone of high social standing. This discovery was made at a mountain site, believed to be linked to the Wang family, a clan that might have had significant influence in the region. When the discovery was reported, construction work was immediately halted, as officials noted that this was the first time such a well-preserved body from the Ming or Qing dynasties had been found in the area. The mummy was then moved for research, and China's Cultural Heritage Bureau considered suspending the construction work long-term to ensure proper preservation and study of this discovery. This is not just an important archaeological find, it is a key to unlocking untold stories of China's glorious past, making the suspension of the construction site a reasonable action. Noblewoman's mummy in a stone coffin. In 2019, a mysterious archaeological discovery captured the attention of experts and history enthusiasts alike when a female mummy in perfect silk garments was found in a stone coffin submerged in water in Siberia, Russia. What's particularly fascinating is the remarkable preservation of her body, despite being submerged in the cold waters of a river for many years. Archaeologists believe that the body was not embalmed in the typical fashion, but was naturally preserved due to specific factors like the clothing and the stone coffin, which protected the remains from decomposition. The woman was wearing a silk dress, a precious fabric in that era, suggesting she might have been of high rank, possibly even a member of the nobility. Alongside her body, experts found a bag of pine nuts placed on her chest. According to ancient beliefs, pine nuts were thought to help the deceased transition to the afterlife, adding a spiritual layer to the discovery. Furthermore, a small cosmetic box was found in the coffin, containing birch bark and a mirror, offering a glimpse into the daily life of the deceased and their appreciation for beauty. Notably, ancient coins and artifacts dating back to the Han Dynasty, around 2nd century BC, were also discovered, leading experts to believe that the woman might have been a nomadic tribe member from Central Asia. However, despite the rich artifacts and data, the true identity and life of this woman remain a mystery. Researchers are continuing their studies in hopes of unraveling her identity and life story in the future. 400-year-old French noblewoman's mummy. In an archaeological dig at Château de Laval in northwestern France in 1988, archaeologists discovered the body of noblewoman Anne de Legre, who died in 1619. Her body was embalmed in a lead coffin, with her skeleton and teeth still in remarkably good condition. At the time, the research team noticed that the mummy had a false tooth and gold threads, but they lacked advanced scanning tools to investigate further. Now, after 35 years, archaeologists and dentists, led by Rosen Kaliter from the French National Institute for Preventive Archaeological Research, have identified that Delegrae had periodontal disease, which caused her teeth to become loose. Cone beam CT technology, which uses X-rays to create 3D images, revealed that gold wires had been used to hold and tighten some of the noblewoman's teeth, while her false tooth was made of elephant ivory, not hippopotamus ivory, which was common at the time. However, Kaliter stated that this intricate dental work may have worsened the condition, as the gold threads needed tightening over many years, which made the surrounding teeth even more unstable. Delegrae may have endured not only physical pain, but also societal pressures, as noblewomen's appearances were closely linked to their value and social status. Ambroise Paré, a contemporary of Delegrae and a physician for several French kings, designed similar dental prosthetics and stated that if a patient lacked teeth, their words would not carry weight. A beautiful smile was especially significant to Delegrae, a controversial figure in society at the time due to her two widowhoods. Delegrae lived through a tumultuous period in French history. As a Huguenot, she fought against Catholics during the French Wars of Religion in the late 1500s. 1,000-year-old mummy in a sitting fetal position in Peru. Over 1,000 years ago, a 50-year-old woman peacefully passed away and was embalmed in Pachacamac, an important archaeological site near Lima, Peru. Her skeleton was found in a large cemetery, just meters away from a deserted temple. Notably, her body was buried in a fetal position, a posture strongly associated with ancient cultures and spiritual beliefs. To preserve the mummy, archaeologists maintain this position throughout the process of preparing it for exhibition at the Musée de Confluence in Lyon. Subsequent analysis revealed that the mummy belonged to a pre-Inca civilization and would contribute significantly to the collection of archaeological artifacts related to death and burial customs in various cultures around the world. Pachacamac, located 25 miles south of Lima on the Pacific coast, is an important archaeological site. In 2012, more than 80 skeletons and mummies, including those of infants, were discovered in a 1,000-year-old tomb. These remains may have been victims of sacrificial rituals, reflecting the profound spiritual beliefs of the community. In addition, 70 other skeletons and mummies were found at Pachacamac, all buried in a sitting fetal position. It is believed that from around 800 to 1450 AD, thousands of people lived in this ancient town, following the god Pachacamac, who was thought to have created the first man and woman. The residents built 17 pyramids and merged with the Inca people when they conquered much of South America. The site spans 600 hectares of arid land and is considered one of the most important ancient settlements in South America, rivaling Machu Picchu or the Nazca Lines. 7,000-year-old mummy in northern Chile. A stunning archaeological discovery has left the research community in awe when a group of students accidentally found a 7,000-year-old mummy during a trip to northern Chile. According to La Tercera, this event took place on May 24th when the group was visiting the Morro de Arica site. Notably, they discovered the mummy after a powerful 8.2 magnitude earthquake in April, which caused part of the body to rise to the surface. This could be a clear sign of natural movement in the area, providing a valuable opportunity for archaeologists. Subsequent analyses revealed that the mummy belonged to the Chinchorro culture, one of the oldest cultures in Chile, renowned for their embalming practices. Remains of the Chinchorro culture were first discovered in the 1920s in the Arica region, in northern Chile, along the Pacific coast. The Chinchorro people lived by hunting, fishing, and harvesting seaweed, and had a distinctive tradition of embalming. Unlike the Egyptians, who primarily embalmed the elite, the Chinchorro embalmed all members of the community, from adults and children to fetuses, as it was a practice that symbolized profound respect for the deceased. Previously, scientists had discovered several mummies from this culture, including 4 pre-Columbian mummies, which were determined to be the oldest in the world, dating back approximately 5,000 years ago. The recent discovery by the student group further highlights the significance of the Chinchorro culture in human history. Archaeologists in Chile are currently continuing to excavate the area, and experts believe that northern Chile should be recognized as a cultural heritage conservation area to protect these invaluable historical treasures from the ravages of time and nature. 500-year-old woman's mummy in South Korea. Specifically, the mummy was found by a team of scholars and researchers from the Seokyung Cultural Heritage Research Institute earlier last month in an industrial site under construction in Osan, located about 55 kilometers south of Seoul. The woman was found in a wooden coffin with an inscription suggesting her husband's position in the government. Based on her clothing and hairstyle, the researchers believe she was a noblewoman living around the 16th century during the Joseon dynasty, 1392 to 1910. Interestingly, while other mummies are typically buried with their most valuable belongings, this woman's most treasured possessions seem to be her handbag. In addition to the handbag, other personal items like a ceramic vase, a comb, and hairpins were also buried with her, providing insight into her life and habits. Preliminary studies of the wooden coffin and her attire suggest that she was indeed a noblewoman, which will help archaeologists better understand the lives of women in Joseon society. According to excavation leader Kim Woo-rim, this is a rare discovery because the mummy is perfectly preserved and dressed neatly. This not only helps researchers gain deeper insight into Joseon society, but also opens up opportunities for further studies of burial rituals and customs of that era. Pre-Inca baby mummy. Recently, archaeologists have stunned the research community with the discovery of a 1,000-year-old baby mummy at the Puruchuco archaeological site in Lima, Peru. This mummy is believed to be from a baby who lived before the Inca period, and it is sure to be an important find regarding this ancient civilization. Puruchuco, known as the largest Inca-era cemetery ever excavated, has become an invaluable heritage site. Over the past 60 years, archaeologists have only excavated 10% of the site, but have already uncovered nearly 2,000 mummies, along with a wealth of valuable artifacts such as ceramics, woven fabrics, and hundreds of coins made of copper, silver, and gold. The discovery of this baby mummy came during a topographical survey for a new road construction in the area. In the same excavation, archaeologists also found dozens of other mummies in a complex containing 26 tombs, including those of both adults and children. According to archaeologist Guillermo Koch, the number of mummies will continue to rise as more areas are excavated. What is remarkable is that, despite being thousands of years old, the mummies from the Inca period are still relatively well preserved. 2,100-year-old Chinese Marquise mummy. In 2016, an archaeological discovery shook the world when scientists announced the find of the 2,100-year-old mummy of the Marquise of Dai from China, preserved in an exceptional state. The Marquise of Dai, also known as Xin Jui, was the wife of a marquis during the Han Dynasty, 206 BCE to 220 CE, and is one of the best preserved mummies ever discovered worldwide. Remarkably, her body remains intact, with soft skin, joints that can still bend, and her hair, eyelashes, and internal organs in perfect condition. Xin Jui passed away at the age of 50, and autopsy results revealed she suffered from several common ailments such as diabetes, high blood pressure, liver disease, gallstones, and arterial blockage, with the direct cause of death being a heart attack. In fact, scientists believe this may be the oldest known case of heart disease in the world. Xin Jui's tomb was discovered in 1971 when workers were digging a shelter in the Mawangdui Hills in Hunan Province, China. In the tomb, archaeologists unearthed over 120 silk garments, 182 valuable lacquerware items, and hundreds of other artifacts such as cosmetics and hygiene tools. They also found 162 small wooden statues representing servants in the tomb. According to records, Xin Jui's body was wrapped in 20 layers of silk, soaked in a weak acid solution, and sealed in 4 coffins. The tomb was then covered with 5 tons of charcoal and sealed with clay to block out water and air, preventing bacteria from thriving inside. While these preservation methods helped the mummy survive for over 2 millennia, scientists have yet to fully decipher why Xin Jui's body has been preserved so well, making this discovery one of the greatest mysteries in archaeological research. The mummy of the noblewoman, holding her husband's heart for 350 years in the tomb. At the Jacobin Monastery in Rennes, a city in northwest France, French archaeologists uncovered the nearly intact body of a noblewoman who died in the 17th century, lying in a lead coffin along with her husband's heart. The body was later identified as that of Lady Louise de Kengo, the wife of the nobleman Toussaint Parien, who passed away in 1656 at the age of over 60. According to the archaeologists, despite being buried for 350 years, much of her hair, skin, internal organs, and brain were still preserved. Lady Louise de Quengo was about 4'9" tall, but her appearance remained nearly unchanged through the centuries, a rarity in archaeological findings. One of the special aspects of this discovery is that the heart of her husband, Toussaint Perrien, was placed beside her body in the coffin. Experts explain that, following 17th century traditions, people often gave the vital organs of the deceased to family members or religious organizations for preservation. This is why Lady Louise de Quengo was found holding her husband's heart in her coffin. Her body was wrapped in a cloak, with a cross placed on her, and her attire resembled that of a nun, leading archaeologists to speculate that she may have decided to join a convent after her husband's death. Additionally, scientists found 4 other coffins in the surrounding area, along with 800 graves dating back to the 17th century. However, the bodies in these coffins had decomposed, leaving only bones. 8. Perfectly preserved mummies in a cave in Lebanon. In July 1990, a group of cave research scientists discovered 8 mummies in the Asi al-Hadath cave in the Qadisha Valley, northern Lebanon. According to experts, the mummies belonged to 4 children and 3 adult women. In addition, they found a male skull and a fetus. These mummies were naturally preserved. Subsequent tests revealed that the mummies were remarkably well preserved without the use of any embalming substances. Among the mummies, the experts paid the most attention to the first body found in the cave. It was a baby who died at around 4 months old. Researchers named the mummy Yasmin. Yasmin wore 3 dresses, one light blue, one beige, and the last one dark beige, and was placed lying on her back, with her head resting on a smooth stone slab. The child wore earrings and a necklace. Near the mummy, there was a darker lock of hair, a laurel leaf, almonds, walnuts, garlic, and onions. Experts noted that Yasmin was buried next to her mother. This burial practice is similar to current burial customs in Lebanon, where the body of the child is placed on the left side of the mother. The artifacts found with the 8 mummies suggest that they died and were buried around the year 1283. The dry air and low humidity in the cave provided ideal conditions for preserving the 8 bodies. All the mummies were Maronite. The discovery of these naturally preserved bodies indicates that, at that time, the cave was a suitable living space for the Maronite people. Today, the 8 Maronite mummies are preserved and displayed at the National Museum in Beirut. Experts have taken various measures to preserve these nearly 800-year-old bodies intact. If you have the chance, you can visit and admire the beauty of these mummies. The Altai Princess Mummy. In 1993, an expedition led by Novosibirsk archaeologist Natalia Polosmak discovered an ancient tomb on a mound in the Ukok Plateau, located in southern Siberia, near the border with Mongolia. Upon excavating the tomb, they found the mummy of the Altai princess. According to experts, the Altai princess was a woman who died about 2,500 years ago. Despite the passage of time, her mummy was remarkably well preserved, providing significant insights into her life and the culture of the period. Scientific tests showed that the Altai princess passed away in her 20s after suffering from breast cancer for about 5 to 7 years. Additionally, it is likely that 3 to 5 months before her death, she fell from a horse and sustained a severe head injury. This injury left her bedridden in her final months, unable to move. The Altai princess was buried with 6 horses, fully equipped with saddles and harnesses. Furthermore, the archaeologists discovered the remains of 2 warriors, believed to be from the Pazyryk culture, a nomadic tribe described by the Greek historian Herodotus in the 5th century BCE. Local people believe that the Altai princess came from a powerful and wealthy family. In life, she may have been a princess or the daughter of a tribal leader. In September 2012, the Altai princess's mummy was moved to the Anokin National Museum of Gorno-Altaysk, after being preserved for many years at the Novosibirsk Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography Museum. Interestingly, while scientists are working to uncover the mysteries of the more than 2,000-year-old mummy, many people in Altai believe the Altai princess is their ancestor. Locals tell the story of how she sacrificed herself to protect the land from evil, malicious spirits. As a result, they believe that the excavation of her tomb angered her spirit, causing earthquakes to break the eternal sleep. On September 27, 2003, a 6.6 magnitude earthquake struck Altai, followed by another powerful earthquake on July 31st, 2012. These natural disasters are thought to be the result of the Altai princess's curse. People believe that the princess caused these devastating earthquakes to take revenge for the disturbance of her resting place. However, scientists have yet to prove whether the curse is real or simply a coincidence. What do you think? Should we be excavating such mummies? And are these mummies truly sacred, perhaps even carrying terrifying curses? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give the channel a like and subscribe to never miss another fascinating discovery. For now, goodbye and see you next time.